Happy weekend, everybody. In today's video, we're looking at some news articles, some Bitcoin prices, potential Ethereum rally. We're also going to do an ICO review at the end. Stay tuned. All that is coming up right now. What is going on, guys? Rodney here with Crypto Bros. Welcome to today's video. Thank you as always for tuning in. Today we're checking out some pretty cool news articles. Tom Lee is projecting an Ethereum run. We obviously have seen the delay in the Bitcoin ETF. We're not going to touch on that today, but all eyes, as usual, are on Bitcoin. A couple other cool news articles, and then at the end, we're going to look at an ICO that is based kind of on like a crypto investment fund. Not the first one we've seen of those, but it is worth taking a look at. I will just share my honest opinion on that. All that being said, let's jump right in. Before we do, though, quickly want to say thank you to everyone who has been subscribing to the channel. I appreciate it more than you know. It's actually pretty difficult being a one-man crypto channel and keeping up. So anyway, you guys are awesome. Let's get this going. Just jumping over here to Bitcoin Live. This is a service that I pay for. Again, trying to keep up with all things crypto is very difficult. One guy, full-time job, all that stuff. But here's what he has to say for the Bitcoin weekend update. And if anyone is interested in signing up for Bitcoin Live, I do have a link below. Feel free to use it or not, totally up to you. Anyway, Bitcoin weekend update. The squeeze in Bitcoin is still in play. Q3 is about to end and the futures expiracy is here. Monthly closes soon, weekly on Sunday as of this writing. Both are in the red for their time frames. Support is around 6,500 and resistance is right around 7,000 level. Smart money algo is registering at a negative 1.2 on the daily, which is a bearish mode and still a selling phase. And a couple just breakdowns of the charts here. If you guys are interested in seeing some of this, like again, super helpful. You know, when I check out these articles, like this is kind of how I stay up to date. Breaks everything down, kind of keeps it in check so I can easily stay up to date. Swing over to one more. This is actually also another trader on Big Cheds. He has updates on Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, and Litecoin. Again, if anyone wants to check these out, there is a link below. But just jumping into CoinMarketCap, at the time of shooting this, Bitcoin is still trading above 6,500, which is a good sign. And it's actually been a really great thing to see Ethereum rally from 200 up to 230. I'm sure a lot of dudes have been playing and making trades on that recently. Again, I've been checked out for the last 20-ish days up until yesterday for my last video, but nice to see some movement in the market. So flipping over into my probably favorite article of the weekend, it says Tom Lee, Ethereum price set for a major rally in the near future. Bitcoin bull and former JP Morgan chief equity strategist Tom Lee has predicted the world's second largest digital asset, Ethereum, is poised for a major rally in the immediate future. As reported on CNBC, Lee identified the impending major trend reversal having seen an altcoin underperform other cryptocurrencies by 2 standard deviations in all of the last 4 market segments. Ether, which trades around $225 at the time of writing this, reflects a slump of over 70% from the all-time high of right around $1,400 earlier this year. This qualifies it as the most depreciated cryptocurrency among the top assets in the overall bear market that has lasted several months. Some have blamed it on the massive sell-off by startups that have accumulated ETH during the ICO boom era of 2017. These are now converting their crypto to pay for services during the actual project development. Lee, who also is a managing partner of the head of research for the Fundstrat Global Advisors, said on Thursday in a note to clients that his company believes that Ethereum is about to stage a trend reversal and rally strongly. Awesome to hear. I'm an Ethereum holder, arguably maybe my biggest holding at the time, I think. Not totally positive on that. I should probably know. But anyway, moving on, you know, speaking of depressed projections, 70% of small cap cryptocurrency tokens are now worth less than ICO raise. So this is actually really interesting, but not necessarily a surprise. Like, obviously, everything is down in the market, and anything that really launched this year in terms of ICO has gotten absolutely crushed. And there's actually some really almost mind-boggling stats on here, but it says more than 2/3 of the small cap cryptocurrency distributed through the initial coin offerings are currently worth less than the startups that issued them and raised through their crowdfunding sales, a newly published report has found. According to the report, which was compiled by cryptocurrency research firm Dyer, Dyer, the 562 ICO tokens ranked outside of the 100 largest cryptocurrency market caps have collectively lost $5 billion in nominal value, what these sales raised from the funding terms, with 70% of individual tokens seeing losses. Remarkably, the massive shortfall does not even include the value of the tokens reserved for the development team or otherwise not made available through the ICO, which in some cases would make that post-ICO performance appear even more dismal depending on how many of those were reserved tokens have entered circulation. So there's this chart right here, and it's actually pretty crazy. So the number one is actually Siren Labs, like the blockchain smartphone. They raised $158 million. Their current market cap is $17 million for a loss of $141 million. Pretty crazy. So it says equally as notable that 324 tokens that collectively raised $2.3 billion have still yet to convince any one of the hundreds of cryptocurrency exchanges to list them on their platforms. Another 44 tokens that raised a combined $1 billion have been listed on at least one exchange, but have virtually no trading volume, including one Bankera, which raised $150 million. Pretty insane there, but again, not super surprising. In my opinion, this is a long-term game, and I, like everybody else, my portfolio is well upside down in USD. The beautiful thing and the way that I'm looking at it is during this time, I've been slowly just accumulating more of the projects that I believe in, that I think are going to do well. Again, it's all speculation. So, as opposed to January, where I had X amount, now I have X plus 10 or whatever that may be. And I'm hoping that you guys kind of think the same way. Again, I don't really care about the USD value, but it is what it is. And I'm in this for the long term. So those are my thoughts. So anyway, last article on the morning. Swiss-based asset management firm to introduce metals-backed cryptocurrency. This is not the first time we've obviously seen this. I would say this isn't even like the best news piece, but it does make some valid points in here just on the way they're going about it. So it says Switzerland-based asset management company Tiberus Group AG is going to introduce a cryptocurrency backed by metals, Bloomberg reported on September 27th. The company was founded in 2005 as a commodity assets management firm. Tiberus Group manages around $350 million in assets. The company will issue a blockchain-powered Tiberus coin, the value of which will be tied to the price of copper, aluminum, nickel, cobalt, tin, gold, and platinum. Their CEO at Tiberus told Bloomberg, instead of underlying the digital currency with only one commodity, we have chosen a mix of technology metals, stability metals, and electric vehicle metals. This will give the coin diversification, making it more stable and attractive for investors. I myself don't invest in any metal-backed coins, nor do I necessarily care to. I probably wouldn't do this here either, and I'm not sure you guys, and I think most of you guys would also agree. That said, he also said that the coin will be offered at about 70 cents and sold in compliance with Swiss law, while its supply will be based on the demand and limited by the availability of the underlying metals. The company reported it has chosen Estonian exchange LA token to list the coin. As per Rapallo, it meets the necessary regulatory standards. Other metal-based cryptocurrencies have attempted this in the past, although so far none of them have gained traction. They're trying to solve a problem that doesn't exist. All of this can be achieved without additional cost of a distributed ledger. Interesting piece nonetheless. So that's what I got for news articles. What we are going to do now is flip over to an ICO review. So flipping over to cybercapitalinvestment.io. Cyber Capital is a cryptocurrency investment fund. The weird thing is that they're promising a return on investment, and while people do this in normal everyday life and regular investment funds, it always sounds and seems sketchy, bit connecty, if you will, when dealing in cryptocurrency. So this is what we're going to look at today. Full transparency. This is a sponsored piece of content, meaning they want this hosted on my channel, but they want me to give my open and honest opinion. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. I did take some notes on some thoughts on here. So here are my initial thoughts. So it's an investment fund using professional traders to trade your money. Like, First, how do we know that these traders are professional traders? Do they actually have our best interest? Do they not? Etc. So those were some initial thoughts going through my head. Again, this isn't necessarily a new concept, but what do you do if they're wrong because they are promising returns? What we'll see is they do have an insurance policy, and we can check that out in just a few. But at the same time, is this any different than maybe paying for trading signals? I do that. I love cryptos or signal profits just so I can stay up to date, so I pay for those. The difference is I'm in control of my own money. So you still have money to lose and you're at risk, but you're paying for the signals, whereas this, you're kind of turning your money over and then they tell you what your payout would be. They make money by going above that, and we'll check that out when we go into the white paper. So the other thing that, again, scares people is there are lockup periods. With this, I believe the shortest lockup period is 24 hours, so not too terribly bad. One thing I did like is they are saying that this token itself will be on exchanges. We also saw that with BitConnect at one point in time. But again, I think there are some differences here just because it's an investment fund, but still, nonetheless, you don't know these people. You're literally just turning over your money, whereas in an actual investment fund, you talk to whatever company you are, you talk to your guy. This isn't quite the same thing. They do have an MVP. That isn't really a big deal to me just because anytime these type of investment things pop up, I swear there's always some unforeseen issues that halt or do or cause problems. So the fact that they have that is not a huge deal, but they do have a lot of development to do. One thing I do like is that there is a KYC and a verification process required based on the plan that you choose, and we'll look that out in a minute. The team is also publicly shown. There's no weird things where they're trying to hide their identity or anything like that, and it's actually looks like a quality team, like with some experience in the game. So as I said, they do have an insurance program, so if their reserve money drops below the necessary level, right? So if they can't make payouts, if it drops too low, they stop taking on new clients. This is kind of a protection to you, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. They have a really good FAQ, but the timeline is also very, very long for the way that they're moving with this project. So I think the best way to kind of define how this all works is flipping over to the actual white paper. So the first thing that's worth noting is if you were to sign up and get involved in this program, there's 3 basic levels, and there's a basic level, a silver level, and a gold level. With the basic level, you have lower withdrawal limits. There's no identity documentation or KYC required. The higher up you go, the different levels, the more verification is required. So once you get to the gold, you do have no withdrawal limits, but you do have full verification using photo ID, KYC, the whole 9. But in terms of how the platform works, you initially start out by choosing your plan. And let's say with this plan, it's a 7-day plan with a 3.5% ROI. The user deposits the capital into the account, we'll say $100 for simplicity. The user's $100 is now locked for that 7-day period. User then gets the capital transferred into the total investment pot that all these traders are using to kind of build that profit. Professional traders use the capital to make trades. At the end of the user's investment plan, which obviously is 7 days, the user gets their capital unlocked. The user's profit is 3.5% based on the plan that they picked from their investment plan that gets put back into their wallet. The user can now withdraw their original capital since they obviously made 3.5% on their $100. It's $103.50. So pretty basic concept to just understand how this works, exactly like it would in a normal investment fund. But things always get a little weird when we're dealing with cryptocurrencies just because you don't know, and you don't know what you don't know. So interesting nonetheless. Flipping over to their actual FAQ, I will say I commend them on having a really good FAQ. There's a lot of different questions and answers that a lot of people will have. They're talking about, because this is a profit sharing piece, we're not going to get into that in this review, how that works. They answer questions like, what is the soft and the hard cap? Again, the soft cap is only 1.5 million to 3 million, which I think is fairly respectable. The hard cap, 17.5 to 35 mil. I think that's a little excessive, but what I do like is if the soft cap is not reached, money will be returned to the investors. The other big thing is, when will the token appear on cryptocurrency exchanges? We are planning to list the CCI token on cryptocurrency exchanges between the 1st and December 31st of 2018. And there's a handful of other questions in there, like how will payouts work and all this stuff. And if this is something you guys are interested in, definitely read through all of these. Nothing I said here is financial advice. Again, this is not something that is in my alley of things that I would do. I love passive income. Just when it gets to cryptocurrency, you don't know. And we've seen issues like this happen before. And what's sad about it is maybe this thing could be great, but the perception of these type of passive income platforms have really kind of soured the space in general. So anyway, I think one of the best things that I found in doing some research on there before I decided to take on this is well, one, they did have good ratings in terms of their, their ICO bench and their ICO scores. I really just take those with a grain of salt. But what I really liked about this is that every rating that was given and every comment and thing that was published, the person from their team, Nikolai, went back and spoke about every single one of their issues. And that's the first time that I've ever seen that happen this in depth on any ICO that I've looked at. So this one right here, it says, there are a lot of projects of this kind. There is nothing unique yet. I can't say that the team has sufficient trading experience, valid point, but they have the competence for realization of this project. The project, although has a lot of risk. Cyber Capital Invest promises to make profit, and this indicates the security of the token. There may be claims from the SEC. It says refusal of exchanges from listing this project. If they went to Binance, KuCoin, even some of the small guys, and they said no, that's also another risk. And then hacking the platforms and withdrawing funds. So the project has an MVP, and it will be interesting to see how the development falls out over this project. So here is our rebuttal from Nikolai from the actual Capital Invest team. And he said, the lighting has been so crazy because the sun keeps coming in out the window, but he said, thanks for your evaluation. Regarding the SEC and investments from the U.S. are covered by us, and only certified U.S. investors will be allowed to participate in our ICO. KYC is required. We have partnerships with medium-sized exchanges, and there are more to come. And we are planning to have anti-fraud team in place to mitigate such risks. Although this guy right here gave a review, spoke to Nikolai, revamped his review, but we're going to go through the whole thing. So it says, profit from cryptocurrency without loss. Seriously, without loss? What's the time frame? No one can guarantee this, and investing for people who don't understand crypto does not actually make a blockchain project. No wonder, I'm sorry, it's hard to read. No wonder they don't have developers, but mostly a business team. How does this even be counted as a token? I have seen their user and trader flow, but it seems dodgy scheme. It seems like a dodgy scheme to me. Very poor social media presence on Medium, blogs, and no activity on GitHub. I cannot see ROI for investors. I would get involved if I want them to manage my funds. Then he updates it and says, updated ratings after a bit of discussion with Nicoletta from the team, and he said they offer insurance of $100K to protect investors from losing, and they stop taking new users until they are balanced. Token has purpose. If you hold more token, you get more profit. Again, here's the thing. This is what they're saying, and while this could be completely and 100% true, you don't actually know that for sure. So interesting nonetheless there, but here was one of the responses. It says, thank you for your evaluation. Let me explain how it works. Our insurance scheme is an inside business policy that will be covered by our own reserve capital, which you can check out on the website. But it says each user will be insured depending on their access level for up to $100K of their deposits plus 10% of their profits made by our traders. Bold claim, nonetheless. Now, if the amount that we owe to our users reaches 50% of our trading reserve, we stop taking new deposits into the platform until we make most of our payouts and reach the safe zone again. So in trading, right, there's ups and downs and ups and downs. So if they drop below, their traders have to trade back into a profitable level to continue to do their thing here. So all of this will be underwritten in our policy of use, which each user will have to sign upon registration on our platform. So they're saying, like, this is how it works. You have to sign and get on to understand this may happen. This will be our legal obligation, and it will not be broken. Our ICO is meant to create the foundation of our platform, fulfill the trading reserve, and allow us to run a worldwide PR and marketing campaign, attracting attention from people from all different countries and all societies to the CCI platform. Also, the ICO is meant to attract audience from blockchain society already and allow them to secure their share of profit with us in the future. I don't remember if I covered the part about how they make money. So on this right here, so I talked about this, right? You sign up for a plan, get 3.5%. If they actually, let's say you sign up for the 3.5% plan, if they make 5%, they keep the 1.5 cent difference. So that was how they make money. So based on whatever your plan is, they need to make more than that. So if you sign up for a 5% plan and they make 8, they get 3%. And right now, even though the market is bear, people are still making money in the market trading. And what I actually like about it is if they are, and the really good traders, what they're more concerned about is protecting their capital as opposed to actually making profits, right? Tight stop losses, just doing the right things to making sure their money is preserved as opposed to making it. So the more they can do that, the better off everybody is. So anyway, that pretty much wraps it up for me, guys. As always, do your own research. It is a very tough time for ICOs in general, so don't expect any big returns on anything you've really invested on from 2018 in terms of ICOs. It's been tough out there. As always, do your own research. I'm not condoning or pushing this ICO on anybody. It is worth looking at and worth discussing, so just sharing my opinion, and that is all. So anyway, to wrap this up, just wanted to say thank you as always for tuning in. I love each and every one of you guys. I truly, truly, truly appreciate every single one of you guys. As we wrap this up, there should be a beer can in the top left corner. If you click that, that would happily subscribe you to the channel. Love you guys. Have a great weekend. I will check you later.